In a galaxy rife with powerful species vying for supremacy, humans were poised to defy all expectations. They were about to demonstrate that true strength wasn't measured in size or raw power, but in the resilience forged by surviving a world known for its perils. Their story was one of shattered records, astonished aliens, and a complete redefinition of what it meant to be unstoppable. Commander Hugo Reyes of Earth's welcoming committee boomed a greeting to the delegation from Tara, extending his hand with such enthusiasm that it almost dislocated the arm of the unfortunate Ambassador Felix Troll. The ambassador winced, but managed a polite, albeit stiff handshake in return. The alien delegation, comprised of 3 Tara diplomats of a rather unsteady build and a delicate pastel blue hue, surveyed their surroundings with wide, increasingly apprehensive eyes. Rekt, the smallest of the 3, whispered anxiously to Ambassador Felix Troll, "Ambassador, are you certain this is wise? It doesn't appear safe." Felix Troll, looking a little pale even for a blue-skinned being, surveyed the area. They had landed in what the humans referred to as a charming park, but to the Tara it appeared suspiciously untamed. Towering trees with twisted branches cast ominous shadows, while unseen creatures chirped, screeched, and rustled in the undergrowth. Noticing their unease, Commander Reyes chuckled, "Oh, this is just Central Park. Wait till you see the Sahara or the Rockies." Rekt looked at his superior, aghast. Rockies asterisk? What were Rockies asterisk, and why did the commander speak of them as though they were recreational areas? "Now, we understand you've come with some preconceived notions about Earth," Reyes continued, his tone a blend of warm welcome and motivational speech. "But we're here to demonstrate that Earth isn't the death world you've heard about. It just has interesting quirks." Felix Troll swallowed, feeling distinctly unconvinced. "I see," he murmured, suppressing a shiver. Interesting quirks star. The human smile was meant to be reassuring, he supposed, but Reyes's grin struck him as more predatory than welcoming. They had barely taken another step when a squirrel darted across the path in front of them, causing Felix Troll and Rekt to jump back and nearly trip over each other. "Ah, don't mind him," Reyes chuckled, "just a squirrel. Cute little fella." Felix Troll stared at the creature as it scurried up a tree, its eyes gleaming with an unnerving intelligence. Clutching an acorn, it gave a defiant flick of its bushy tail and chattered something that sounded alarmingly like a threat to Felix Troll's ears. Cute, yes, Felix Troll managed, though every fiber of his being screamed for him to retreat. "Oh, it's nothing," Reyes laughed, dismissing the near ambush by the tiny creature as an everyday event. "Honestly, we're thrilled you all accepted our invitation. I think you'll find Earth is a lot more welcoming than the galactic rumors suggest." Felix Troll forced a smile, but in his mind, he could hear the cautionary tales of his ancestors warning against interacting with Deathworlders. His initial doubts were beginning to seem entirely justified. As they ventured deeper into the park, Reyes pointed out a flock of pigeons taking flight with a flurry of wings. Felix Troll barely registered their presence before the birds unleashed a shower of droppings perilously close to his feet. Biological warfare, he thought, aghast. Reyes merely shrugged and chuckled, "Pigeons, am I right?" The commander continued to lead them down a wooded path, seemingly unaware that the Tara diplomats were struggling to suppress their terror at every rustle and chirp. Ambassador Felix Troll eyed the bushes nervously, imagining some monstrous beast lurking within. A rabbit hopped out, and Felix Troll nearly swooned. "Oh, don't worry about it," Reyes chuckled, observing the ambassador's reaction. "That's just a bunny. Adorable little guys. Only dangerous if you're a carrot." Rekt, still reeling from the previous encounters, stammered, Do your animals actually attack vegetables?" He eyed his emergency rations with newfound suspicion. Reyes' laughter boomed through the trees, clearly mistaking their fear for humor. "Oh, you all have a great sense of humor. You'll fit right in here." He clapped Rekt on the back with enough force to nearly send the small Tara tumbling. Reyes then ushered them into a small clearing where a group of humans were gathered around an enclosure. "Now here's something I think you'll appreciate," he said proudly. "One of our most popular Earth animals. Meet the American bison. Inside the enclosure, a colossal, shaggy beast grazed peacefully. Its sheer size was enough to send shivers down the spines of the Tara delegation. It looked capable of crushing their shuttlecraft without effort. Felix Troll took a cautious step back, mentally calculating escape routes. "Now, don't be shy," Reyes urged. "They're gentle giants, really. Almost like Earth's equivalent of, I don't know, a big, fluffy pet." The bison lifted its head, fixing the aliens with a steady, if somewhat unfocused, stare. It seemed to be pondering whether they were potential meals, rivals, or simply nuisances to be ignored. With a loud snort, it stamped a hoof, and Felix Troll clutched his chest. "Did it just challenge us?" Rect whispered, eyes wide. "Challenge?" Reyes roared with laughter. "No, they're not aggressive. That's just Carl." Reyes waved at the bison. "Hey, Carl! These are our friends from Tara." Carl the bison snorted again, in what Felix Troll could only interpret as an ancient Earth war cry. He shot a pleading look at Reyes. "Perhaps we should move on?" "Good idea," Reyes agreed with a grin, leading them down the path. "You guys are going to love the next spot." As they walked, Rect nudged Felix Troll. "Ambassador," he whispered, "if a creature of that size is considered a gentle, what on Tara do they consider dangerous?" Felix Troll had no answer, his mind reeling with the possibilities. Reyes then led them to a tranquil pond, its surface undisturbed except for the occasional ripple. "And here we have one of our classic amphibians, Mr. Frog," he announced with a flourish. They peered into the water, where a bright green frog sat motionless on a lily pad, its unblinking yellow eyes fixed on them. Felix Troll felt a chill despite the warm air, the creature's vacant stare unsettling him. In a flash, the frog's tongue lashed out, snatching a fly mid-air. Rect yelped and stumbled backward, nearly losing his balance. It just attacked with its mouth parts." "Did you see that?" Reyes, wiping a tear from his eye, explained between chuckles, "Yep, that's just lunch for them." "Lunch," Felix Troll whispered, watching the frog resume its stoic pose, almost as if daring them to disturb it further. "Just wait till you see some of the bigger guys," Reyes added, patting Felix Troll on the back. "There are all kinds of cool creatures around here." Felix Troll exchanged a worried glance with Rect. "Bigger guys?" The thought sent a shiver down his spine. After their close encounters with the local wildlife, the Tara delegation was understandably shaken. However, Commander Reyes, seemingly oblivious to their mounting apprehension, continued the tour with undiminished enthusiasm. "All right, team," he declared. "Next up, the flora." Felix Troll took a deep breath, hoping that the plant life might prove less terrifying than the fauna. Surely, plants wouldn't evoke the same existential dread. They arrived at a vibrant meadow, a tapestry of flowers, shrubs, and towering trees. Reyes spread his arms wide, proclaiming, "Here it is. Nature's beauty at its finest." Felix Troll and Rect surveyed their surroundings with caution. The flowers were certainly beautiful, their large blossoms a riot of color. A gentle breeze stirred them, creating an illusion of serenity. Do they just sit there?" Rect asked hesitantly. "Mostly," Reyes replied, "but they can be pretty tough." He knelt beside a cactus, its surface covered in sharp spines. "Take this cactus. Survives in deserts with almost no water. Pretty hardcore, right?" Felix Troll eyed the spines warily. "Are those dangerous?" "Nah, only if you get too close," Reyes said, reaching out to pluck a piece. He winced as a few spines pricked his finger. "See? A bit sharp, but harmless enough." The Tara diplomats watched in horror as a bead of blood welled up on Reyes's finger. "It's feeding on you," Felix Troll exclaimed. Reyes laughed. "Not quite. Just got a little too friendly with it. Happens all the time." Reyes then gestured towards a bush laden with bright red berries. "These berries are great. But don't eat them," he warned with a grin, "unless you want a trip to the emergency room." Rect gasped. "Wait, so they're poisonous?" Yep, Reyes confirmed, his enthusiasm bordering on unsettling. Lots of Earth plants have defenses like that. Keeps them safe. The Tara delegation exchanged anxious glances. The plants here, they're all in a constant battle for survival? Felix Troll asked, his voice barely a whisper. Pretty much, Reyes replied, as if this were the most natural thing in the world. Just as Felix Troll was about to suggest returning to their ship, Reyes pointed to a patch of bright orange flowers. Now these are cool, too. They're called poison ivy. Poison ivy? Felix Troll repeated, a sense of foreboding washing over him. Reyes chuckled. Yeah, these little guys have an oil that causes a nasty rash if you touch them. But hey, you learn not to touch them after a while. Rex stared at him in disbelief. Wait, so humans just learn to avoid things that might harm them? Well, yeah, Reyes responded, as if it were the most obvious thing in the universe. Can't let a little plant ruin your hike, right? Felix Troll felt his head spinning. But just when he thought Earth couldn't get any stranger, Reyes's eyes lit up. Oh, you know what's wild? You haven't even seen the microorganisms yet. The what? Felix Troll stammered, clutching his coat as if to shield himself. Oh yeah, microbes. Tiny organisms that live everywhere, on surfaces, in the air, on your skin. Humans fight them off all the time. Kind of our own little war zone, Reyes explained with a laugh. Rex's jaw dropped. Invisible attackers? And you just tolerate them? Most of them, sure. We have this thing called an immune system. Helps us fight off the ones that actually cause harm. Felix Troll paled, imagining a world teeming with unseen enemies. You coexist with microscopic creatures that could invade your body at any moment. Reyes grinned, seemingly thrilled by the concept. Yep, we're basically walking ecosystems. It's what makes humans so resilient. Reyes then led them to an exhibit showcasing Earth's diverse and often extreme environments. Here's where things get really interesting, he announced, gesturing towards a sprawling display of holographic landscapes. Snowy mountains, scorching deserts, and storm-lashed coastlines flickered to life, each simulation chillingly realistic. With a grin, Reyes pointed to a towering, snow-capped peak. This is the Arctic. Temperatures can plummet to -60 degrees Fahrenheit. Pretty nippy, but people live there year-round. Felix Troll's eyes widened. You reside in such conditions? Sure do, Reyes affirmed with a cheerful nod. Humans bundle up, build shelters, and we're good to go. We even have a sport called ice fishing where we drill through the ice to catch fish. He grinned. A little cold isn't going to stop us from getting dinner. Recht looked appalled. If your species must consume aquatic life, why not simply wait until they are more readily obtainable? Oh, where's the fun in that? Reyes chuckled. Besides, it's all about adapting to your surroundings. He then directed their attention to a projection of the Sahara Desert, where holographic sand dunes shimmered under a blazing sun. And over here, we have the desert. This place can reach 130 degrees Fahrenheit. Dry as a bone, but you'll still find people living there. Felix Troll blinked, dumbfounded. You're telling me that, despite conditions specifically designed to desiccate living beings, you choose to inhabit such a place? Yeah, it's pretty amazing, actually, Reyes said, scratching his chin thoughtfully. People even run marathons there, long distances in that heat. Just for fun. The delegation stared at him, mouths agape. They willingly participate in strenuous physical activity in extreme temperatures? Recht asked, his voice barely a whisper. Reyes nodded, as if this were the most reasonable thing in the world. Yep, humans love a good challenge. Felix Troll felt a wave of apprehension wash over him. But surely, he ventured, you possess some degree of self-preservation instincts. Oh, sure, we know our limits, Reyes replied. But Earth's challenges are half the reason we've become so resilient. He then guided them towards another display, this one depicting towering cliffs overlooking a turbulent ocean. Take these cliffs, for example. Humans jump off them for recreation. We call it cliff diving. Felix Troll nearly choked. You willingly leap from great heights into water that could potentially cause significant bodily harm? Exactly. Reyes said proudly. It's exhilarating. It takes courage to face unpredictable situations, but that's what makes life exciting. Earth teaches us resilience, and we've learned how to handle a world that throws everything at us. The Tara delegation huddled together, exchanging anxious glances. For a species that lived in climate-controlled environments and considered the slightest discomfort unbearable, the concept of seeking thrills in dangerous landscapes was completely alien. But why? Recht finally asked, his voice trembling with disbelief. Why would you intentionally place yourselves in harm's way? Reyes's grin softened. Honestly, he replied, because that's what makes life here so interesting. It's not just about survival, it's about making the most of what we have, even if it means facing a little danger. Reyes then ushered them into a new section dedicated to Earth's varied and often challenging environments. Now this is where it gets exciting, he declared, gesturing towards a large holographic display showcasing a range of simulated landscapes. Images of snow-covered mountains, scorching deserts, and windswept coastlines flickered into existence, each simulation eerily lifelike. Beaming, Reyes pointed to a towering, snow-capped peak. This is the Arctic. Temperatures can drop to -60 degrees Fahrenheit. A bit brisk, but folks live there all year round. Felix Troll's eyes widened in disbelief. You inhabit such a place? Absolutely, Reyes confirmed with a cheerful nod. Humans just bundle up, construct shelters, and we're good to go. We even have a sport called ice fishing where we cut holes in the ice to catch fish. He grinned. A little cold weather isn't going to keep us from dinner. Recht looked utterly appalled. If your species requires aquatic creatures for sustenance, why not simply acquire them when they are more easily accessible? Oh, where's the sport in that? Reyes chuckled. Besides, it's all about adapting to your surroundings. He then directed their attention to a projection of the Sahara Desert, where holographic sand dunes shimmered under the intense simulated sun. And here we have the desert. This place can get up to 130 degrees Fahrenheit. Bone dry, yet people live there too. Felix Troll stared, speechless. You are suggesting that, despite conditions explicitly intended to dehydrate living organisms, you willingly choose to reside in such a location? Yeah, it's pretty incredible, isn't it? Reyes said, stroking his chin thoughtfully. People even run marathons there, long distances in that scorching heat. Purely for enjoyment. The delegation gaped at him, stunned. They voluntarily engage in strenuous physical exertion in extreme temperatures? Recht whispered, his voice barely audible. Reyes nodded as if this were the most ordinary thing in the world. Yep. Humans love a challenge. Felix Troll felt a wave of unease wash over him. But surely, he ventured, you possess some degree of self-preservation instinct. Oh, absolutely, we're aware of our limits, Reyes replied. But Earth's challenges are a big part of why we've become so resilient. He then guided them to another display, this one featuring towering cliffs overlooking a turbulent ocean. Take these cliffs, for instance. Humans jump off of them recreationally. We call it cliff diving. Felix Troll almost choked. You willingly leap from significant heights into water that could potentially inflict severe injury? Precisely. Reyes said proudly. It's exhilarating. It requires courage to face unforeseen outcomes, but that's what makes life exciting. Earth has instilled in us resilience, and we've learned how to cope with a world that throws everything and the kitchen sink at us. The Tara delegation huddled together, exchanging worried glances. For a species accustomed to climate-controlled environments and who considered the slightest discomfort unbearable, the idea of seeking thrills in perilous landscapes was entirely foreign. But why? Recht finally asked, his voice trembling with disbelief. Why would you intentionally put yourselves in harm's way? Reyes's grin softened. Honestly, he replied, because that's what makes life here so fascinating. It's not simply about survival, it's about making the most of what we have, even if that means confronting a bit of danger. Reyes then guided the delegation to a panoramic viewing platform, a room with curved walls and enormous windows that offered a sweeping vista of Earth. The planet hung in the blackness of space like a sapphire jewel, its ocean swirling in shades of deep blue, wisps of white clouds casting fleeting shadows across the vast continents below. The view was stunning, awe-inspiring, but also slightly intimidating in its raw, untamed grandeur. Reyes turned to the group, hands on his hips, his usual boisterous demeanor replaced by a moment of quiet contemplation. "So, there it is," he said, his voice softer than usual. "That's Earth. Or at least," he added with a small smile, "the best parts we could squeeze into a single day." Felix Troll, the Tara ambassador, stood in thoughtful silence, his mind racing. The sights had been spectacular, certainly, but his thoughts were consumed by everything he had learned, everything he had been compelled to acknowledge about this extraordinary planet. The plants, the animals, the deserts, the mountains, the oceans, the invisible armies of microorganisms, it was all so much to process. He thought back to the seemingly harmless squirrel they had encountered earlier, a creature so unremarkable to the humans that they found it amusing, yet so erratic that his Tara instincts had screamed danger. He recalled the bison, Carl, staring at them with an intensity that felt like a challenge. The poisonous flora, the perilous cliffs, the frigid Arctic, the scorching Sahara, all natural elements of Earth that humans had somehow chosen to inhabit, or at least to coexist with. Felix Troll turned to Reyes, who was watching him with a knowing smile. The commander appeared completely unperturbed by the sheer strangeness of his world, and why wouldn't he be? This was his home. Felix Troll swallowed, realizing the profound difference between these humans and anything he could have envisioned. You genuinely enjoy it here, don't you?" Felix Troll asked, a hint of wonder in his voice. Reyes chuckled, gazing fondly at the planet rotating serenely in the distance. "Enjoy it? Earth's definitely a challenge, but that's what makes it home. It pushes us, it shapes us. Heck, I'd say Earth made us who we are." Recht, who had been nervously clutching his translator all day, shifted uneasily. "But Commander," he stammered, "why remain in such a volatile environment? The risks, the dangers, they are omnipresent." Reyes shrugged. "Sure, there's danger, but you can't truly grow without a bit of adversity, can you? Life here teaches you a thing or two." Felix Troll considered his own people, his own meticulously ordered world with its precisely balanced ecosystems, predictable weather patterns, and a gentle environment that nurtured life without sudden changes or threats. Tara was a haven of peace, but perhaps also a place of stagnation. Risk, in Tara society, was something to be controlled, minimized, avoided at almost any cost. Humans, it appeared, viewed risk as an intrinsic part of their existence. "So you take pride in this?" Felix Troll asked slowly, almost apprehensive of the answer. "The chaos, the dangers?" Reyes's grin widened. "Pride? I wouldn't say it's all pride. It's more like gratitude. Earth isn't easy on us, but it's ours, you know? And all those challenges? They've taught us how to adapt, how to survive. Earth made us resilient." Felix Troll gazed at Earth one last time, the vibrant blue and green swirling beneath a delicate veil of clouds. The planet, once a symbol of terrifying chaos, now held a strange allure. He thought of Tara, his peaceful, predictable home, and a seed of doubt began to sprout within him. Had their pursuit of absolute safety come at the cost of something essential? Had they, in their meticulous control of their environment, somehow limited themselves? Recht, beside him, seemed equally pensive, his usual nervousness replaced by a quiet contemplation. Reyes clapped Felix Troll on the shoulder, his boisterous energy returning. "So," he said with a grin, "next time you visit, we'll have to take you skydiving. You'll love it." Felix Troll's eyes widened at the suggestion, a flicker of apprehension mixed with a surprising surge of anticipation. He could almost imagine the rush of wind, the breathtaking view, the exhilarating plunge. "Perhaps," he replied, a small smile playing on his lips. For the first time that day, he felt a genuine desire to return to this bewildering, challenging, and ultimately captivating world. As they boarded their shuttle, Felix Troll glanced back at Earth, the image of Commander Reyes's unwavering grin imprinted in his mind. He realized that Earth wasn't a death world because it was inherently hostile, it was a death world because its inhabitants had learned to not only survive but thrive amidst the chaos, embracing the very challenges that threatened to break them. He wondered what he, a product of a world where comfort and predictability reigned supreme, could learn from these resilient humans. He wondered what Tara could become if its people dared to embrace a little unpredictability. The shuttle doors hissed closed, severing him from the strange pull of Earth. Wrecked, breaking the silence, murmured, to think, a species that willingly faces the unknown each day, not just enduring uncertainty, but welcoming it. Felix Troll nodded, his mind buzzing with newfound perspectives. They don't simply overcome obstacles, Commander, he said softly, they integrate them into their very being. Reyes, who had been chatting with the shuttle pilot, turned to them. That's about right, he agreed, a thoughtful expression on his face. Earth has its wild side, no doubt, but it's our wild side, and we've built a life around it. As the shuttle ascended, leaving the vibrant planet behind, Felix Troll knew that his perception of Earth, of humans, and even of his own world, had been irrevocably altered. He had arrived fearing a planet of hardened killers, but he departed with a profound respect for a species that had forged resilience in the crucible of a challenging world. He had glimpsed a different way of life, one where danger wasn't avoided but embraced, where challenges weren't obstacles but opportunities for growth. And as the stars streaked past the shuttle window, he couldn't help but wonder what new possibilities awaited him, both on Tara and perhaps, someday, back on Earth.